On Friday afternoon, October 21, 2016, the internet on the U.S. East Coast began to unravel without warning. Major platforms failed one after another. Twitter vanished, Reddit refused to load, Netflix stopped streaming, and CNN went silent. Across the United States and Europe, millions of users suddenly lost access to dozens of high-profile websites. It felt less like a technical glitch and more like a digital apocalypse, as site after site disappeared from the web. Engineers rushed to investigate, unsure whether they were facing a system failure, a cyber intrusion, or something far worse. By nightfall, clarity emerged. This was not a simple bug, but one of the largest cyber attacks ever recorded. Early suspicions pointed toward nation-state actors such as Russia or China, or perhaps groups like Anonymous. The truth, however, was far stranger. The internet had broken because of Minecraft, not governments or militaries. At the center of the chaos was a feud between gamers, and the person who triggered it could have been someone living nearby. The question became unavoidable. Who was responsible, and how did a Minecraft player nearly shut down the internet? While Minecraft appears to be a simple, blocky children's game, it has evolved into a massive online ecosystem. Players around the globe connect to thousands of independently operated servers where they build, compete, and socialize. Operating a Minecraft server is far more than a casual hobby. It can be a lucrative business. Players spend real money on in-game advantages or access to exclusive servers, and successful operators can generate enormous revenue. Some servers were earning as much as $100,000 per month. In this rapidly growing underground economy, competition was fierce and unforgiving. In this environment, even a brief slowdown could cost a server everything. When performance dropped or a server went offline, frustrated players quickly migrated elsewhere. As a result, some operators turned to sabotage to eliminate competitors. Within Minecraft's darker underground, a digital arms race was underway. Rival server owners began launching cyber attacks to knock competing servers offline, hoping to steal both players and profits. The most common weapon was the DDoS attack, which overwhelms a server with massive amounts of fake traffic until it crashes and disconnects everyone. A DDoS attack, short for distributed denial of service, relies on a network of compromised devices working together to flood a target with traffic until it can no longer function. Where chaos exists, profit follows. By this time, an entire industry had formed around DDoS for hire services. Some groups specialized in launching attacks, while others sold protection against them. In 2016, one young Minecraft server owner decided he would end this arms race by building something far more powerful than anything seen before. He operated under the online alias Anna Senpai. Outside the internet, he was a 20-year-old college student in New Jersey named Paris, majoring in computer science. He even ran a small business selling DDoS protection services to Minecraft servers, which placed him at the center of constant online battles. But his motivations went beyond simple server competition. What he was really chasing was something deeper: control, recognition, and a sense of power. He wanted to dominate his rivals completely. Alongside a small group of online associates, this young gamer quietly began building a cyber weapon designed to rule the Minecraft server scene. Together, they developed a piece of malware and released it onto the internet, allowing it to spread and seize control of hundreds of thousands of vulnerable devices, all of which could be commanded at will. This kind of malicious network is known as a botnet, an army of infected devices that act like digital zombies, responding to commands from a central controller. These compromised devices were scattered everywhere, from China to Brazil, and even inside ordinary homes. With only a few lines of code, the group was able to hijack them. By late summer of 2016, Anna Senpai's botnet was nearly complete, and its scale was already enormous. During its first 20 hours in the wild, the malware spread at an alarming pace, infecting more than 65,000 devices. The size of the network doubled roughly every 76 minutes. At its peak, the botnet would grow to an estimated 300,000 to 600,000 compromised machines worldwide. Each infected device was capable of sending meaningless traffic toward any chosen target. On its own, a hacked webcam posed little threat, but hundreds of thousands acting together could overwhelm nearly anything connected to the internet. Paris and his collaborators named the malware Mirai, a Japanese word meaning future, inspired by a favorite anime series. Looking back, the name proved fitting. Mirai represented a new phase in cyber warfare, a type of threat few had anticipated. As the botnet continued to expand, Paris realized he was on the verge of something far bigger than a simple online rivalry. The original purpose of the botnet was narrow and personal. Paris built Mirai to knock rival Minecraft servers offline and win a petty feud driven by ego and bragging rights. What he failed to understand was that this tool had grown far beyond its original intent. Without realizing it, he had created a weapon capable of disrupting far more than a handful of game servers. To him, Mirai felt like the ultimate cheat code, an unbeatable way to dominate his rivals. Paris did not yet grasp the true scale of what he had built. The power he now controlled was sufficient to knock entire countries offline. Mirai's first real test arrived in September 2016, and it made its presence known immediately. Instead of targeting other Minecraft servers, Paris and his collaborators selected some of the world's largest technology infrastructure providers as their next victims. Their objective was to demonstrate Mirai's raw power and to take down services that were protecting rival Minecraft servers. In late September 2016, they aimed the botnet at a French cloud hosting company called OVH, which hosted a popular Minecraft server protection service. In seconds, Mirai flooded OVH's network with fake traffic, reaching a peak of over 1 terabit per second. The volume of traffic was staggering. At that moment, it was the largest DDoS attack ever recorded. OVH's defenses struggled to hold. Even its advanced mitigation system, known as VAC, was pushed beyond its limits. Mirai had accomplished the unthinkable. It brought one of the world's largest hosting providers to its knees. And this was only the beginning. Just days later, the attackers selected another high-profile target closer to home, the personal website of cybersecurity journalist Brian Krebs. Krebs had recently published investigative reports exposing criminal cyber networks. Whether as a display of bravado or an act of retaliation, Paris unleashed Mirai against KrebsOnSecurity.com. The site was hit with a torrent of traffic peaking at 665 gigabits per second, instantly knocking it offline. The attack on Krebs was so extreme that his longtime DDoS protection provider was forced to cut him off entirely, leaving his site offline. The signal was unmistakable. Mirai was now the most dangerous force in the DDoS world, and no target was beyond its reach. Across the cybersecurity community, alarm bells rang. Major mitigation firms and law enforcement agencies began asking the same question: who could possibly be behind attacks of this magnitude? Many initially believed only a nation-state actor was capable of such destruction. In reality, the most devastating attacks were being launched by Paris and a small circle of Minecraft outcasts. But at the time, no one knew that. What was clear was that Mirai represented a frightening new threat. Paris could feel the pressure mounting. Each reckless attack generated headlines and intensified scrutiny from investigators. With every strike, keeping Mirai hidden became more difficult. The logical move would have been to disappear and stay quiet. Instead, Mirai's creators chose the opposite strategy. In early October 2016, using the alias Anna Senpai, Paris released Mirai's source code on an underground hacking forum. Along with it, he posted a short message that carried both confidence and caution, signaling that his time in the DDoS world was coming to an end. In the message, he explained that when he first entered the DDoS for hire business, he never intended to stay long. He claimed he had already made his money and warned that too many eyes were now focused on IoT security. His conclusion was blunt. It was time to get out before the scrutiny became dangerous. By releasing Mirai's code publicly, Paris likely hoped to blur the trail leading back to himself. Once dozens of copycats began launching attacks using the same tool, assigning blame would become far more difficult. It was a calculated gamble: unleash the most powerful DDoS weapon ever created and disappear amid the chaos. The plan unraveled almost immediately. By placing Mirai into the public domain, Paris had effectively handed a loaded weapon to anyone seeking chaos online. Within days, criminals and pranksters around the world seized the code and built their own botnets. New variants of Mirai spread rapidly, and the targets soon expanded far beyond the Minecraft ecosystem. The original creators of Mirai, Paris and his associates, went silent and stayed out of sight, watching as their creation spread beyond their control. They were no longer the only ones paying attention. Mirai had stopped being a secret weapon. It had become a freely available tool of destruction, ready for anyone to use. And just 3 weeks later, someone did. When that trigger was pulled, the internet itself began to break. On the morning of October 21st, 2016, users noticed something was wrong as they powered on their phones and computers. Major websites including Twitter, Netflix, Reddit, and many others were suddenly unreachable. This was not a malfunction. It was Mirai, now controlled by unknown actors, launching a massive attack against DIN, a company that formed a critical backbone of the internet. DIN operated critical DNS servers, the internet's address book, responsible for translating website names into actual machine addresses. When DNS fails, the web effectively stops functioning. The attack arrived in waves, sweeping across the U.S. East Coast before spreading into parts of Europe. Online, users began asking the same question over and over. Is the internet down? For many, it truly was. This DNS attack was different, larger, more coordinated, and global in scale. DIN later estimated that at least 100,000 compromised devices were blasting its infrastructure with traffic, possibly exceeding 1 terabit per second. The volume surpassed even the record-setting OVH attack. The assault tore through the web, disrupting online services across vast regions of the United States and Europe. For nearly an entire day, major websites either went offline or struggled to remain accessible. It became one of the largest outages in internet history. A weapon that had been created just weeks earlier to settle petty Minecraft disputes was now crippling the digital infrastructure relied upon by everyone from everyday users to Fortune 500 companies. Panic spread through technology circles. With a major election only weeks away, many feared this was a test run for state-sponsored cyber warfare. The timing felt ominous. Yet the real explanation was almost absurd. The chaos was collateral damage from a gamer feud. Mirai, born from a Minecraft server rivalry, had been unleashed, and someone, possibly another gamer or a disgruntled hacker, had pointed it directly at DIN. One cybersecurity director later recalled that when DIN was hit, engineers across the industry immediately snapped to attention. It became clear this was not just DIN's problem. The stability of the entire internet was at stake. Somewhere, a college student was watching events unfold as Mirai forced the internet's guardians into full crisis mode. By the end of October 21st, the worst had passed. DIN recovered, and services gradually came back online. The immediate danger was over, but the warning had been delivered unmistakably. This was no drill. A significant portion of the internet had truly gone dark. As investigators began piecing together what happened, attention quickly turned to the Mirai malware. But because Mirai's source code was public, anyone could have launched the attack. It was eventually determined that the DIN assault was carried out by an unknown party using Mirai. To this day, that specific attacker has never been conclusively identified. While the world remained in shock, investigators were closing in on Mirai's creator. Behind the scenes, the FBI and a multi-agency task force, working alongside cybersecurity experts from companies such as Google and Cloudflare, had been tracking the botnet since the record-breaking attacks in September. Early on, they noticed a strange pattern. Many of Mirai's targets had ties to Minecraft. That observation led investigators deep into the strange and highly competitive world of Minecraft server wars. FBI agent Elliot Peterson later recalled asking why Minecraft servers were being attacked so frequently. As they dug deeper, it became clear that the Minecraft economy was vast and ruthless, exactly the type of environment where a weapon like Mirai could emerge. By deploying honeypots and closely monitoring the botnet's behavior, investigators began tracing its command infrastructure. Meanwhile, cybersecurity journalist Brian Krebs identified a suspect, Paras Jah, a 21-year-old college student, Minecraft player, and the creator of the malware that nearly broke the internet. With intelligence from researchers and Krebs's reporting, authorities closed in. In late 2017, more than a year after the outage, the case finally cracked open. Paras Jah and 2 co-conspirators pleaded guilty in a federal court in Alaska to charges related to creating and operating the Mirai botnet. The ending was surreal. The largest cyber attack of 2016 had not been orchestrated by hostile nations or elite hackers, but by 3 college students working from dorm rooms and basements.